Hi, it's Hazel and welcome to my channel. This is episode number 3 in the mixed bag, mixed bag of titles subsection of the What's in My Bookcase series. Now, you probably know that most people do videos ahead of time, schedule them to cover holidays, illness, absences, blah, 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 real life getting in the way. So that's exactly what I'm doing. By the time you're seeing this, I hope that I will be driving a combine and helping take off our crop this year. Anyway, let's get right to it. Again, this is a mixed bag. Some of these, they're probably all new used acquisitions. So the first one, Invitation to the Classics, a guide to books you've always wanted to read. Let me get my handy dandy ruler. 9 by 6 3/4. So if you're new to this series, I try to make it my business to measure books so that you have a realistic idea of of how big how big or small a book actually is. Now, sometimes when people have things on screen and I can't tell how big something is, I try to count the squares while it's in place, but I mean, that is kind of expecting a bit much. Okay, so it looks like this book is going to be basically maybe author mugshots and book covers. Alexander Solzhenitsyn. So it looks like whoever they is, edited by Louise Cowan and Oz Guinness, have picked a number of books that they believe are classics. Well, it doesn't say how many. And who knows what criteria they used, but so let's just find a typical. Okay. How about an index? I mean a table of contents. So it almost looks as though they've done it by author. So of course Shakespeare got, a section, and Plato and Aristotle, John Milton. Oh, and they've done sort of by countries as well, because I see there's some German classics. We also saw that there were some French classics, devotional classics. Oh, and let's check the date, because that will be important in a case like this. 1998, so this is clearly not up to date. T.S. Eliot, so it looks like they've maybe picked a particular title and they show the authors. I was going to say lifespan, but clearly not. Must have been the time in which the book was being written. Mark Twain. So again, a book like this is great for, just cutting out author headshots or book covers or whatever. Enough. That kind of went on and on about that one. Okay, this is another art book, obviously beat up. Exploring Colored Pencil by Sandra McFall Angelo, 10 1/4 by 8 1/2. Cardboard, gift with purchase. So, okay. the end. Now, I would say that's a hippo's rear end. Again, as always, some nice images to cut out, some teach yourself to draw. This book is a wee bit, oh, another gift with purchase. Now that face kind of fades away, but I could see using that, putting it in a journal. Oh, and there's an eye study. Anyway, we've seen lots and lots of art books recently, so I won't bore you with that. A first book of Canadian art. 11 1/4 by 9 1/4. Kind of wild. And papers, don't care for those. Semi-gloss paper. Ooh. I don't think that this is up my alley. How about an installation of hunter sweaters? See, this Liz Mager, whatever, once made a work of art from birds' nests. In this one, she stacks traditional woolen hunter sweaters. See, those kind of also, maybe from my neck of the woods, would be called curling sweaters. Those vintage, heavy-duty sweaters that weren't very attractive back when you really were risking frostbite to be on a curling team. Yeah, not so much good stuff in here. The price must have been right. I wonder if these are the books I got for 50 cents. Okay, Royal Panoply. Now, before I started the video, I figured I'd better look that up, see what it means, and how to pronounce it. This panoply means an impressive collection, or so this is an impressive collection of royalty. Brief lives of the English monarchs. It kind of almost hurts the eyes, it's so bright. 11 over 11 by 8 3/4. Looks virtually mint though. 2003. A panoply is a splendid and striking array. Sometimes an array of knightly arms, sometimes an array of banners or trophies, costumes or works of art. In the following pages, I've assembled a royal panoply, an array of monarchical lives, some splendid, a few wretched, all striking in their variety, their vicissitudes, their predictable or improbable fates. Whoa, you need a dictionary to read this book. A lot of text. Queen Elizabeth, 1985, with one of her corgis. Wedding photo, 1947. That's lovely. Of course, she was still alive when this book was done. Edward VIII. Okay, let's see some of the more historic ones. Nothing like a tree, a family tree. It's Henry VI. Henry V. He liked his rings. He's got that bejeweled, what are those things called? That office holders sometimes wear. Chain of something. And then now, sometimes the old ones were made of fur. So now is it politically correct to be wearing that at some kind of an important event? So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess some of these pages are kind of interesting. You can just tell when they're getting, so 11, this guy's reign was from, or that was his, no, could he have only lived for 20? Anyway, doesn't matter. We don't care that much about him. I don't care that much about him. A nice book, though. I can see reusing that kind of a mint cover with a fairly generous spine, I'd say an inch, as rebinding it and using it as a art journal. Come and get it. Roundup recipes from ranch country. So again, we know how much I love cooking. 10 by 8, 8 by 10. So we're not, obviously, I'm not using this for any recipes, but I like the sort of Old West. Oh, see, rhubarb juice. I used to have a rhubarb plant. Moonshine. Makes a fresh, refreshing, attractive summer drink and a good base for a party punch. So a lot of historic photos, and by the looks of them, most of them are from Alberta, so that's always kind of nice when it's in your own backyard. So, you know, even if a person just fussy cut the historic photos and maybe use the odd recipe, this book was certainly didn't know that. See, I don't live near Calgary, so the cook adds flour and water to a sourdough mix while the night hawk looks on. It was the night hawk's job to tend the horses during the night from 8 p.m. until after breakfast. He had a few other duties around camp, but mostly he slept or watched the cook during the day. That's a bit of someone's handwritten recipe or printed recipe. This gal is feeding chickens. So again, the value here is from, why did my phone just make, oh, somebody liked something. I'm thinking, why is my phone doing that? Now this, you can just tell when you see, when you see a spine like this on a bookcase, you just know that you need to reach for it because it's an oldie but a goodie. International Encyclopedia of Dogs. Now this one is, you know, obviously showing where. It's over 11 by 8.5. What have we got? Oh, and it's only from the 70s. So now these are probably mostly black and white. Oh. There's a section on vomiting. Yay! Vomiting. Oh, it's kind of, well, I guess set up like an encyclopedia, alphabetical. So vitamins. Why don't I look to see if there's a Gertie lookalike in here? So Russian. No, what am I talking about? French. A Russian bulldog? I don't think so. Let's look at some of these color photos. Oh my goodness, a little frizzy here, I'd say. We had a dog like this when I was growing up, and we called him Patches. Any idea why? Oh my God, that's not pretty. Top left, Bedlington Terrier. Okay, what have we got under French Bulldogs? French breed. How about gastroenteritis? Of course, not ours, but our daughter's, is fawn color. Oh, more color photos. So obviously, these guys, if a person was doing a dog journal, there is plenty to choose from here in terms of, so that's more like Gertie. She doesn't have that white, but yeah, cool. Lots to choose from in terms of, you know, definitions, black and whites, coloreds, this sort of thing. I guess it's pretty hard not to look at these guys and smile. Anyway, you've probably all seen dogs before, so why am I putting you through that? Okay, I have a few more. These all are a bit smaller. 100 plus easy calligraphy projects by G. Rowland Smith. Nearly 11 by 8 1/4. Soft cover. Now, I have several other books on calligraphy. Actually took a course many moons ago from an absolutely incredibly talented woman. Someday I should maybe show you some of the stuff that she did and gave us as students. But just interesting from the perspective of, look at all these different ideas for doing, you know, say a monogram if you needed. Well, let's see what the H looks like. It's a castle. If you saw a recent thrift video, you know that I am now the proud owner of a tiara. And thank you to all of those who are enablers and said that, yes, of course I should have bought it. And yes, of course I deserve it. And then some really clever lady said she'd love to have a tiara, but right now she's got a broomstick. I burst out laughing. Oh my God. So you know, obviously when you guys are clever in your comments, I especially love that. So yeah, that one made my day. Now you've probably seen these sorts of books before. 2 in 1. One is right side up, one is upside down, and 7 1/2 by 5. Now, I don't know that there are particularly such great illustrations in here. Oh, maybe there are. Spoke too soon. Copyright 63 on the illustrations. I think that the copyright on the book is... Oh, just a minute. Maybe someone renewed it. Copyright 1922 by the Mark Twain Company. So yeah, the text itself is probably copyright. Again, illustrations are fine, nothing really to write home about. But isn't this a nice book with a nice fat spine? 2 inches. Pretty good condition, you know, just a bit of wear showing. That would make, mind you, how would you deal with the upside down? Well, you'd have to cover it. Oh, I was just checking out the window to see if my husband drove in. Copyright 1884, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that's why I grabbed this, because I thought it was a nice fill your handful of book. I really do not need another one of these vintage Reader's Digest, but I cannot leave them behind when I encounter them. This one is in good shape. I have some that are not as good. These with the beautiful covers that seem to hold up a lot better than the later ones. Okay, it's 1959. Very yellowy pages because I think they use kind of cheap paper. But the covers are so gorgeous. I used one of those to make my, daily planner and, put a fabric spine on it. And I think I showed that at some point. Anyway, love those. They're getting harder to find. And we'll end with these three. So this is a cute little guy. 4 by 3 1/4. Believe in Yourself. I tend to like these books, these cute little ones, particularly if I don't have to pay through the nose for them. Because sometimes people think, oh, hardcover, well, I'm charging you the hardcover price. Well, no, I don't think so. So just basically a bunch of quotes, sewn in signatures, can easily take that out. It would be so easy to use these either on journaling cards or as signatures in another small book. Plus then you end up with the cute little cover. And is that not even a good little book just to have as your, leave the cover intact because the message is so good? Well, let's do this one. Now, I will remain silent on her husband. But I thought there was some value to this book because of pages like this, some nice quotes, some beautiful photography. And I guess she's got those life lessons there. So, the book is sort of set up in that sort of a way. These kinds of things, a quote, the life lesson box. So I'm sure that I'll get some use out of this book. The paper is a wee bit glossy, but that's fine. And I forgot to tell you the size. 6 3/4 by 5 1/2. And this is quite recent, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, boy, those years are flying by. 2007. And then the final one, Leaves of Gold, an inspirational classic for our times. 6 3/4 by 6 1/4. And you just know by the look of this that it's going to be loaded with some beautiful images. It looks like this series, this Leaves of Gold, has been a classic for over 50 years. Newest volume features only the choicest quotations and most beautiful illustrations. So let's put them to the test and see if that's true. Lovely little quotes. And these books usually have really nice borders. I've deconstructed others and saved the borders for collage and whatnot. Yes, they tend to be vintage. I wonder if they're public domain images. You'd almost think so based on the age. Kind of a soft, ethereal feel to some of the illustrations. So, and again, nice borders. So when you take apart a book like this, you could virtually use every single scrap of it. It's nice that so many of the images include people reading. Actually, maybe they're holding junk journals. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. So different categories of quotes: home and family, heartstrings, gratitude, faith. That's pretty. I've seen this guy before. Adversity. Another girl reading, another girl reading. This is 1996. Yeah. And on that note, we will quit. You know what? I have another pile of books here. I can probably tape one more episode and then not feel guilty during harvest. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. If you haven't already done so, I hope that you choose to subscribe because you like the content and pithy, 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 commentary, as well as liking, the thumbs up, subscribing, and all of that jazz. I will see you in the next video. Thanks for joining me. Stay safe in the meantime. Bye.